past the T-minus 20-minute point, T-minus 19 minutes 50 seconds and counting.
Ron McNair, pilot Mike Smith, followed by Krista McAuliffe, teacher in space, and Ellison Onizuka, and payload specialist Greg Jarvis.
Initially, liftoff was scheduled for 9:38 this morning, but again there were problems. A hard freeze overnight left ice on the launch pad, a 2-hour delay, and then NASA discovers a faulty fire detector on board the shuttle, another hour's delay while it's replaced. Final preparations before liftoff. The ground crew gives McAuliffe an apple for the teacher, and wishes of good luck. Finally, the liftoff was set for 11:38. A crowd of some 500 spectators, including 18 visiting school children from McAuliffe's hometown of Concord, New Hampshire, waited anxiously and then counted down.
Oh, dang, it's smudged. Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Brandon Alvarado, and I will be interviewing my mother, Jane Alvarado, who is a 10th grade witness to the Challenger explosion. Did anything significant in terms of cultural relevance, like art or music or books or movies, TV shows, anything like that come out of this event at the time or now at least?
Well, I know they built that big memorial at the airport in San Antonio, so that would be, I mean, they were statues, so that's art. I know there was a Netflix series about it. There was a couple songs, but I don't know that they had anything to do with this, though.
They just like referenced it?
Yeah, I don't know, Brandon.
Okay.
I do know the artwork, the memorials that were created for the 7 that died, for the teacher, for Krista McAuliffe, who was going to be the first civilian ever going into space.
And a woman.
In the
80s?
And a 10th grade teacher, and I was in 10th grade.
That is unheard of. Look at that.
Hey, women did a lot of things in the 80s.
Yeah.
I wrote for the brave, wonderful people who were aboard the Challenger space shuttle. It's called Flying for Me. Well, I guess that you probably know by now, I was one who wanted to fly. I wanted to ride on that arrow of fire right up into heaven.
Did this event unify or divide society at the time?
I think overall, for the most part, it probably unified, because anytime that there's a big national tragedy, people seem to come together more, lean on each other more, depend on each other more, and support each other more. So I think in that sense, it probably brought more people together. When it comes to NASA and space exploration, I think it probably divided it. Because I know a lot of people, and I know a lot of people today still feel the same way, that the space exploration should be a private venture instead of a government venture. But I think overall it probably brought people together.
Did this event hurt the economy at the time, or did it boost it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I don't know that it hurt it or boosted it. Maybe in Houston it hurt it a little, because there's a lot of tourism with NASA, and maybe there was less tourists going to NASA. I do remember going to NASA as a kid too, so that was a big thing, going in the flight simulators and all. So maybe some people stopped going. I don't know if it boosted or hurt the economy.
Understandable. What did the government do or say about this event when it happened?
That's a hard one for me to remember. I was a young teenager. I don't really remember so much what the government said or did. I do remember the president coming on and talking about it. It was Ronald Reagan. I remember that because I remember, my dad wanting the TV to watch that. I don't remember what was said. I really don't. I was 15, and when you're 15, all you really care about is your friends and what you're going to do the next night. I don't remember exactly what the government said or did, or if they did anything. But I do know that the president came on and spoke about it. I remember that.
Today is a day for mourning and remembering. Nancy and I are pained to the core by the tragedy of the Shuttle Challenger. We know we share this pain with all of the people of our country. This is truly a national loss.
Are the facts the same surrounding this event from when it first happened to now? Was there a common consensus as to what happened originally? And was it later revealed that it was something else entirely?
I think at first they didn't know what had caused it, so there wasn't a whole lot of right then and there knowing what happened. I think what came out afterwards, I remember it was weather related. It had something to do with, they had an unusual freeze in Florida because the flight was delayed a couple days. It was supposed to happen on Sunday and it ended up going on Tuesday. And then I remember the freeze and it damaged the O-ring, because I remember the O-ring, and then saw a movie a little bit later about it too. But yeah, no, I think it was the same. I don't think there was any surprises that came out later.
2, 1, and liftoff. Liftoff of the 25th Space Shuttle mission, and it has cleared the tower.
Roger, roll, Challenger.
How did your family or friends or your peers or society feel about this event when it happened?
That's a big question. Family, friends, peers, society. Okay.
Just anybody in general?
I think my friends, first off, because I was with my friends when we were watching it when it happened. I think it was just big news. It was the talk. It was the walking down the hallway, and the next after that period, hey, did you see what happened? Oh, did you see what happened? That's really sad. Family, I think, it was on the TV. It was on the news. We had one TV in the whole house. So, when Dad got home from work, the news was on. So we were watching it again. It was a big deal. I remember that. But it's been so long. I don't remember exactly what all was done. I do know that there was, at the San Antonio airport, they made a big memorial for them. I remember that because I remember driving into the airport and seeing the memorial. I remember how I felt when it happened. I remember seeing it happen, but I don't remember a whole lot of the follow-up with
What came after?
What came after.
Yeah.
Downrange distance 3,000 miles. Engines throttling up, 3 engines now at 104%. Challenger, go with throttle up.
Do you feel that ever since this event happened, is it as significant now as it was when it did happen?
Yeah, I do. I do feel like it's as significant now as when it happened. I feel like back in the 80s when we were in 10th grade and a 10th grade teacher was on that shuttle, And we saw it explode, and we saw all those people that were on it die. It was very surreal to us, but we didn't have the technology and the gaming and the movies. We had movies, but not as realistic as you have today, that almost desensitizes you to the violence and those types of events. When we were watching it in the 80s, I don't know, it was unheard of. It was raw, it was real. It wasn't, I don't know how else to say it. We hadn't been desensitized to violence and tragic events as much as I feel you guys today have been with the realistic graphics and the gaming systems and all that stuff. So it was pretty fresh then, and enough that I remember it to this day.
Velocity 2,900 feet per second, altitude 9 nautical miles, downrange distance 7 nautical miles. That the vehicle has exploded. Flight director confirms that. We are looking at checking with the recovery forces to see what can be done at this point.
So when this event happened, how did that affect you in the moment?
In the moment, I think me, all my classmates, my friends, we were all in shock. Just surprised to see that happen. Didn't expect it. We've seen many space shuttle launches, never saw anything happen this tragic. So I think we were all in shock, a little sad.
Mm-hmm. Where were you when you saw this event?
I was in high school. I was in 10th grade, and I was in my science classroom, and we were watching the liftoff.
Nice. What state were you in?
I was in San Antonio, Texas.
Nice.
This is Mission Control Houston, repeating the information that we have at this time. We had an apparently nominal liftoff this morning at 11:38 Eastern Time. The ascent phase appeared normal through approximately the completion of the roll program and throttle down and engine throttle back to 104%. At that point, we had an apparent explosion. Subsequent to that, the tracking crews reported to the flight dynamics officer that the vehicle appeared to have exploded and that we had an impact in the water downrange at a location approximately 28.64 degrees north, 80.28 degrees west. At the time the data was lost with the vehicle, according to a poll by the flight director Jay Green of the positions here in Mission Control, there were no anomalous indications, no indications of problems with the engines or with the SRBs or with any of the other systems at that moment through the point at which we lost data. Again, this is preliminary information. It's all that we have at the moment, and we will keep you advised as other information becomes available. There are recovery forces in the general area, others being deployed, including aircraft and ships. We saw what we believe to be paramedics parachuting into the impact area. and we have no additional word at this point. We will keep you advised as details become available to us. This is Mission Control, Houston.
I thought the flight was going fine. And then I heard them say major malfunction. And then the person beside me said it's exploded. And it was... I couldn't speak. It was...
Within minutes, emergency rescue teams parachuted in, converging on a search area 18 miles east of Cape Canaveral.
Debris continued to fall for 50 minutes and more, and obviously you can't send aircraft and ships into an area where debris is falling, where they themselves may be endangered.
Late this afternoon, after 6 hours of searching, NASA reports they found no survivors.
These searches have not revealed any evidence that the crew of Challenger survived.